Alright, ladies and gentlemen, everyone, welcome to this video. I know you've been waiting a long time, probably. Some of you have been waiting. I'm not going to say all of you, but chances are you've been waiting a long time for this video. It's been almost 2 weeks in the making of me editing stuff and gathering clips and information and, trying to rebrush up on my lore to make sure that I got everything correct, which so far I believe I am. So it's going to be interesting. And today, I'm glad that I actually ended up taking this long to edit this because in the time I have found, or we have found, we have had more lore added to the topic that I'm discussing today. So there is more stuff out. There's more interactions and more stuff to give us feels between relations between characters such as Bloodhound and Fuse, which I'm not going to discuss in this video. And we got some huge Gibraltar lore coming, which I will discuss in a different video. And we obviously have Mirage lore and Wraith lore as well. So today I want to discuss some of that, and I want to break down bits and parts of it, and take everything into consideration. Now keep in mind that I am only interpreting the lore, and what I say isn't exact. There could be different meanings. They could mean different things than what I'm interpreting it as. So, take everything with a grain of salt. Make your own interpretations, find your own conclusions, and just use my observations as a reference point, if you will. So with that being said, I want to go ahead and talk about why I haven't been uploading. First of all, I've been working on this and gathering clips, so kind of need to do that in order to actually have background footage rather than just being a black screen. That'd be weird. Second of all, I had to go through and gather all the lore I needed to as evidence for this video to showcase it, to try to prove some backbone to my example. I'm also going to be referencing the two videos I did back in 5 or 6 months ago, which would be the first Mirage and Wraith video I did, and the second video I did, which is the Dro's relation with with Mirage through his mom's phone call. So those both are going to have some kind of relevancy in this video. So if you want to watch those videos, I'll put the link in the description, or you can just look at them. If you don't want to, that's obviously fine as well, but it might help you catch up to speed if you know what the reference is when I reference it, just as a heads up. So I also want to break this video into parts. I want to do a part where I'm talking about the lore that we've received already before Season 9, and I want to discuss about what it could mean, like I did in the last Mirage and Wraith video, except I'm not really going to cover much of the stuff I did in that. I only want to touch up on the stuff that hasn't been concluded, that we're still kind of waiting on to see where it goes, or like what is the meaning of it. So I want to discuss that a little bit. And then after that, we'll see where this goes. I want to discuss a lot in this video, which is why it's 44 minutes and 3 seconds long. Now, of course, as I'm editing, that might not actually be 44 minutes and 3 seconds long at the end by the time I'm done. But right now, that's the case. So, I really don't know what else to say other than I hope you guys can enjoy this video. I know a lot of you have been waiting for this. A lot of people have been, subscribing for the lore stuff. And, well, if this is what you guys want, then this is what I'll give you. So, yeah, here you go. Enjoy.
Jump padding.
Alright, so when it comes to lore, there's a lot of lore in games, especially Apex Legends, that, well, they tend to elaborate on, but they never fully finish, right? So there's no conclusion, it's non-conclusive, right? A lot of the times, why would you finish off your lore in one season? That way there's nothing as like a cliffhanger or to drag on to the next season to build character development and what have you. This happens to be a lot of the cases with most Legends, and, well, the two Legends I'm talking about in this video would happen to be Mirage and Wraith. So I want to go through and I want to dissect parts of their lore, meaning like them individually and some parts that are connected, and I want to talk about, well, this is the lore that they've brought into light, whether it be Season 5 or Season 6 or 7 or whatever, 8, which not really 8. And I want to talk about what this lore is. Reference to the two previous videos I did, the Dro's video and the Wraith video, Mirage and Wraith video. So I'm not going to cover it too much, but I want to discuss the fact that this lore is still on the table. Like, this is stuff that they haven't concluded, and it could have a potential role into the lore that comes up in this season, which I do have a feeling that there will be some comics for Mirage and Wraith together, most likely, but if they're separate, then, this could still technically play a role in their lore. So, let's go ahead and get into the first stuff, which, let's start off with Wraith. In Season 6, obviously, Wraith's lore, we already know that Wraith's lore is about finding answers and all that, what have you. Finding, what of them Amer Sin, or Sing, and, like, her lore. She wants to know her past, right? Well, obviously, in season 6, we see that Wraith has actually found a paper of some sort, which has the IMC logo on it. This is on the Twitter comics from season 6, when we can see that she's found this paper and she's reading it, or it's of some importance, of which she sets aside to help Mirage. As we scroll through these comic pages, I'm not really going to read the comic pages aloud because it's season 6 comics, and if you're here for this video, most likely you have seen those. If not, make sure to go to Twitter, and on Apex you could find those pretty easily. And we go through numerous sides where we see that Wraith's holding his paper, and we got Mirage being, his classic self, getting in his face. And one thing that was important in this season was the way he treated Wraith, but I've already discussed this in a previous video. So in many, many, many of these screenshots I'm showing here, we can see the paper here that it's set aside, and she's listening to Mirage's shenanigans. And yet here, at this point, she actually interrupts him during his shenanigans and, issue, where she screams Elliot, and it seems like that's either blush or anger, one of the two. I'm not really sure. A lot of people are agreeing on blush. And we can see she stutters here. It says, I just... And then she stops, and you can see the paper. They're bringing the paper into the angle, showing that they, as in like the artists and the writers, that's what they wanted. You can see that the reason why she's trying to say something to him, she's trying to talk to him, and it's most likely about this paper here. Now, what is this paper, and what does it mean? We don't know. We have no idea what the significance of this paper is, other than it's a part of the IMC. And actually, we'll see here in a second that it actually involves Wraith. And here, in the next slide, we see Mirage says, "Knew I could count on you. You always have my back, Wraith." And we see the paper being slid by Wraith, meaning that she's pushing this aside. She's pushing her own past, whatever she wanted to tell him, whatever this paper is, and she did want to tell him something. She was trying to, and she slid it aside. And we see that she says, "Nothing. Let's find Rampart some flowers," meaning that and I've discussed this in my last video, that she's put aside this tremendous thing for her lore. Which is most likely tied to her past. Now, why would someone do that? Obviously, as a good friend, a good Samaritan, you would obviously, put stuff aside. But that's also something that she's only wanted. She's only wanted answers for a good portion of her life. And now that she finally has those, she's setting those aside. Now, my question is this is important. But why does she want to tell Mirage about it? Why is that? Why does she want to tell him? That is the question for me. And it makes me wonder, why did she want to tell him, and what would have this led to if she did? Is there a place that she's found that has this paper revealed a location? Because if we go over, we can see the paper, we can see a very short glimpse of what this paper says, and it says Blasie's lack of empathy, and it goes to the next line, we can't see some of the stuff, and short temper are a detriment to the department, possibly even a danger to her fellow scientists. So, this paper has obviously got Wraith. Now, this is a big paper with a lot of words on it from what we gather, but we only seen that very few. The portion that we've seen is obviously given to us because it leads up to the next comics, where she gets angry at him, emphasizing her short temper. Now, obviously, she did have a reason to be pissed at him, but there could be more to this paper than there always has been. And maybe this paper has led to Wraith questioning herself, since it said Blasie's lack of empathy, meaning that this is an analogy. This is an analysis on Wraith before she was a test subject. This is when she was a scientist. So maybe this paper made her believe that, even in this dimension, it wasn't the Voidwalker was cold, but maybe Wraith was always cold before she, got her memory wiped. Maybe she was always this cold, lack of empathy scientist, right? And that which led to her questioning of herself, which I covered in the other lore video I did, where she wants to know who she is. Was she always a terrible person? Is she this terrible person? What did she do, right? Now, what is this paper, and what significance does it have? I don't know. But this could play, whatever this paper is, and whatever it has to do with her and the IMC, this could play a role into next season. Or maybe, why specifically did she want to tell Mirage about this paper? Or why did she bring it up to him? So what is this? Will they continue this part, or was this paper solely in here for the single reason of the temperament outbreak that she has in the next comic, when Mirage is getting flowers for Rampart? Which also brings me to that comic, where we kind of have some entanglement between Mirage and Wraith lore, where we see that Mirage is obviously talking to his decoys, and he's questioning Like, well, I mean, what I did was an accident. You don't need it. You don't need to break the bank over here. Meaning, like, what he did was, when he sent Rampart shit on the rocket, was a complete accident, and that he doesn't need to make up this much for it, right? So we go into the next comic, and we see, he says, "Well, you like this girl?" And he says, "Well, not in that way. At least I don't think it's that way." And then his other proportion of himself says, "Hold up, I thought Wraith was the one you liked. Get it, your story straight, buddy." So first of all, this is confirming that he does have feelings towards Wraith. Obviously, Rampart supposedly, allegedly, possibly is causing confusion between his feelings. Now, I don't think it is. I think they have a brother-sister relationship, but I've discussed that in the last video, and I'm not going to be redundant. I want to go through this stuff to keep in mind to be like, okay, this stuff is something that could potentially play a role into the new season. And then I want to get into the new season stuff, and I want to dissect that. So here we can see, we go through that one, and it's like, okay, so we know that Mirage has feelings for Wraith. Now the question is, does Wraith have feelings for Mirage? Obviously, the Gossip Boy loading screen, that plays a huge role into it too. And then we got the next slide where Mirage talks about, like, I need to get my shit straight. I got a lot of stuff going on. My side gig is not getting shot at. I barely keep the bar afloat. So here we see, like, this is his financial issues, right? And the issue is that by reviewing these financial issues, it's a tie-in with his parents, his mom. He talks about how his dad's a deadbeat, how his mom is, she's going, right? And it leads up to, the phone call that we get in, I believe, the end of season 6 or the end of season 7. I think it's the end of season 7, yeah. With his mom, where his mom mentions that she's dying. Now, you can find me analyzing this phone call in the Davis and Droz video, because that will have some significance in here, too. So we're seeing that Mirage's depression and this anxiety or whatever it is this life factors that have been crushing at him for a while, they're resurfacing here in this comic. These have not been resolved. These are still present issues, right? It's not like his money problems go away, especially after crashing the boat. When he crashes the boat, we see that in the live stream, which you can go on YouTube and look for videos or some kind of phone source. If you watch the launch trailer for the new season, for season 9, if you were there on the YouTube live stream before it actually went live, 2 minutes before, Mirage was on a phone call with some kind of insurance marketer, which I'll play the bit here, and we see that, well, Mirage crashed the Mirage Voyage. Now, if you guys don't know, when you crash a vehicle, it's not good. He's obviously contacting an insurance company. Now, it's the same with, like, health insurance and car insurance and stuff like that. First of all, it might have been his fault, and if it was, then he's definitely paying. And second of all, it's an insurance company. They're not always guaranteed going to cover the entire cost of what happened, especially considering that this party boat is probably expensive as hell, and he crashed it in a high-populated metropolitan area. So, he's probably going to be in another financial bind, speaking that he was already in one, but obviously now he's going to be in a deeper rut of some sort because he crashed his ship, and he's going to have to pay for, the damages. Maybe not for the Mirage Voyage, but, that's a metropolitan area. He crashed into a city. I'm sure there's going to be some fees for that. And I actually discussed this with Fragment, an amazing artist for, does Rainbow Six Siege stuff and also does Apex stuff. You can find him on Twitter. He's fucking awesome. And we were discussing, and this is what I brought up to him there. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this segment and cut up these screenshots. That way I can keep an eye on how much time I have. So I'll be right back. Now, hold on. I'll come back to this. I promise you guys. But I want to talk about the undiscussed stuff from previous seasons, not just the Season 9 stuff yet, and my theories and analogies and how and what could possibly play roles into Season 9. So, let's go back to the Season 6 comics. First, I want to relate to the Wraith thing, where she had her outburst. Yes, she's short-tempered, but I think I also want to clarify that a lot of people, I've been seeing some people taking her quote out of context, And they've been saying, well, Wraith said, which this isn't true. They're saying that, well, Wraith said that she would never be Mirage's boyfriend, which technically, or girlfriend, sorry, I don't know why I said boyfriend. Boyfriend, which is technically false because she didn't say that. And second of all, you're taking it out of context if you say that. And I don't mean you specifically, but I've just seen a lot of people bring it up before on Twitter and other YouTube videos. I want to clarify that keep it within the context of Season 6 and that, loading screen. And don't actually, change the quote because that ruins the actual meaning of what she was saying. As to tell Mirage that, like, hey, look, you're being a cunt. You're being an asshole. You need to stop, right? Because he didn't realize, and he knocked down on Path a lot, calling him tin can and all kinds of stuff, just being an ass, right? And he didn't realize he was being an ass, and, well, Wraith happened to be the person he hurt the most by it. So she told him off. And that adds to saying that there's more than face value to what she said. If you take exactly what she said as she said it, like with no interpretation of what it could possibly have meant, then yeah, it sounds like that. But if you don't look past the idea that even Rampart said that, sure, you heard what Wraith said, but try listening, which is basically telling the readers, like, hey, look, there is more to what Wraith is saying than what she actually said. Like, it's not face value content. There's more to what Wraith meant. And what I think what Wraith meant is by telling him off, they're like, you're hurting the people that care about you the most. So I feel like I wanted to add that in real quick to clarify that, which it also kind of contributes to the lore and how Wraith feels towards Mirage as, like I said, a friend or possibly more. As we know that Mirage does have feelings for her, but we don't know if she does back. Although in Season 9, that does change some things. So with that being out of the way, let's move on to the mostly Mirage stuff. Now, this is going to have less evidential parts into the video because most of this was covered in my past 2 videos pretty intensely. The one thing we got to take into note is, well, we got Mirage's mom. We have this lovely Evelyn Witt, who everyone loves, engineer, right? And, well, as we find out in the Season 5 Broken Ghost Quest, Wraith knows. Wraith knows about Mirage's mom. She knows, which clearly he was agitated at the fact that Loba knew it, meaning that he doesn't really tell people about his mom's secret. So it's very interesting that Wraith knew this. Now, did Wraith know before Loba knew it? Or did she find out when Loba announced? That's something I don't know, but maybe they'll expand upon it. The thing that's important is that Wraith knows that Mirage's mom, she's not doing so good. She knows that his medication, her medication, it's costly, or that it's not enough. Like, it's not good enough medication to give Mirage's mom what she needs. Now, how does this play a role? Well, this plays a role into Season 6 when Wraith decides to help Mirage financially by giving him a roommate. Because she knows he's struggling, and not so much because of the party boat. Yes, maybe he went broke because of the party boat, but also because he's got to pay for his mom's medication. Otherwise, she's going to forget him, which I believe she has Alzheimer's, if I'm correct. I don't know. So this plays a role into what I'll get into later. Now, it's kind of weird jumping around like this, but I promise you I'll get into it later. This plays a role into some of the interaction voice lines that Mirage and Wraith have, because, yes, they finally have interactions. The phone call itself is kind of important to take away from here. In the first phone call with Mirage and his mom, we find out that this is the first time that Mirage has ever directly stated that she's his #1 fan and called her mom in the same sentence. Mirage has never said, it's dramatic irony in a way. So, like, Mirage always talks about his #1 fan, and he always talks about his mom, but he never says to any of the legends in the same sentence that his mom is the #1 fan, or that compares that. So there's no way for a legend to know officially that the #1 fan is his mom, except for Mirage himself, unless he tells them, or if they figure it out. And in the Season 3 phone call, Mirage does actually both call her mom and, his #1 fan. Hey, how's my #1 fan? It's me, Mom. Elliot, your son, right? And obviously, to save time, I'm not going to go through and add these clips because you guys have seen it. You can look up Season 3 Mirage phone call and you'll find it. And we go into the second phone call, which there's a lot to dissect, but I've already dissected it before, so I'll go over it briefly. Once again, we see that Mirage is talking to his mom, except this time, instead of hearing Mirage's perspective, we are hearing Evelyn's perspective. And, well, we see the level and progression of his mom's mental issues, her mental health issues, and it seems like it's getting progressively worse. She's having trouble remembering her family. She's having problems remembering Mirage. Halfway through, she changes. She knows she's talking to Mirage at the start, and she acknowledges that he's his son. But halfway through, it's like she forgets she's talking to him on the phone. She completely forgets that she's talking to him, like as if she's talking to herself now. Then it changes where she goes back to him. It's very confusing, and also not to mention, or not confusing, but it just displays the level of intensity that this mental health is being affected by. And she also mentions two important things which are key. We see Uncle Droz. Uncle Droz is mentioned, so she confirms that Mirage is directly related to one of the 6-4 pilots, aka Droz, who was a pretty important guy in attacking this ship that ended up getting Viper killed, essentially. Now, will this play a role with Mirage and Valkyrie tensions? I don't know. Be kind of cool. But I think that there is more to it than Droz just being his uncle as a head nod to Titanfall. I think that because the Titanfall lore that's been coming out, this may canonically have some, importance. And the second thing he mentioned, that she, as in Evelyn Witt, mentions, is that Mirage started talking about a girl. Now, in the Season 6 comics, Mirage called his mom and asked her about Dr. Renee, to get her files and give her the birthday, and, make up for all that. So there's two things to take away from here. Now, is Mirage talking to his mom more about Renee than just, to access the files? Like, does he, is he talking about her to his mom? Or is his mom starting to implicate that he's got feelings for Renee because he called her about it, right? The other thing is we also technically never seen a full conclusion of that either. Mirage gives her a birthday, and obviously we see the loading screen here, or the comic screen where she's actually crying tears of joy. Wraith obviously was very happy about this, but she's never expressed how she felt or thanked him for it in the game as far as we know. So will they branch out upon that in the new comics? Maybe she'll express her feelings to him that way, or maybe pay him back somehow, even though really it was an apology on his end to make up for what he did wrong. So that's a potential that could play a role into this as well. So I think that's most of the lore that we've covered. If I miss anything, make sure, if you want, I'm not gonna ask you guys for views, but just because it makes sense for this video, there is a lot of lore that I covered that hasn't necessarily played a role in this season yet, referring to Wraith and Mirage, both of them, canonically, whether it be his parents, and actually the importance of his dad being a deadbeat is brought back up into this season. So now that I think that I've covered mostly everything, and like I said, I'm not going to theorize off these things, I'm just letting you guys know that these are things that have not played a role in the lore yet, and they could very well play a role in his lore, in her lore, or their lore together in this season. If not this season, potentially season 10, but I have a feeling it's going to be this season, and I will justify that why. Thank you, Tom Casiello, for that. And yeah, let's go ahead and start diving into the actual, like, the interactions and the stuff that's, the juicy stuff that's here. Okay, so there is a possibility that I could miss some stuff because there's a lot. There's a lot, guys. There's a lot to discuss. So first off, let's dive into what I was first talking about that I said I would come back to later. This would be the discussion I had with Fragment on Twitter, and that would be about Mirage. And what did Wraith mean in the launch trailer by this right here?
Mirage, really? Again?
What? I'm a legend, right?
Now, I have reason to believe that Wraith isn't just talking about Mirage fooling around. A lot of people are like, oh, he's running around and singing and stuff like that. I think that, yeah, it could be that. But I think that there is something more to it. I think that Wraith was referring to the fact that, well, that Mirage got in trouble again with financial issues by crashing this boat. He knows that, well, he's going to be in another financial rut, which Wraith spent a lot of time getting him out of in Season 6, that he ended up winding himself back into in Season 9. Because this whole insurance thing. And I will go and find the clip and give credit to the person on the clip on YouTube for this, but this was in the launch trailer live stream for Season 9.
Good stuff. I should probably call someone, though.
Welcome to Upland's Insurance Solutions.
Hi, yeah, pop quiz. Real quick, what exactly is the payout on my crashing a pleasure barge into a city policy? Asking for a friend.
For English, press 1. For French, press 2. For the Salvonian dialect submenu,
Yeah,
press...
look, I'm willing to accept a ballpark figure. It's kind of in a rush here. Are we thinking more or less than the cost to rebuild the city I'm about to flatten?
Felicitations! Vous avez sélectionné Francais.
Okay, starting to get a vibe that you might not be an actual person. That's fine, I'll hold. I'm not on fire. Yet, or anything. Oh, great. Hold music. This is so tragically calming while I'm about to die. This is great. Representative. Operator.
Phase runner prototype 5.27356. Booting. System diagnostic test complete. 2,735 errors found. Automatic override initiated. Please enter a destination. No input received. Deferral to previous selected destination. Phase runner prototype 5.27356. Ready to receive subjects. Day 31,055.
You gotta be kidding me. This is it. This is Bon Voyage. For the Mirage Voyage. Man, I wish I thought of that earlier. So many parties, so many barbecues. I still smell the pork chops.
In your voice, I am detecting distress and fire. Would you like me to call emergency services?
That's a solid call. Yeah. So should I just stay on the line or? Hello? Hello? Hello?
Hello, and thank you for calling Outland Insurance Solutions. We appreciate your patience. How may I help you? Sir?
So, obviously, you guys heard that, and this is obviously in here for a reason, and this is what makes me and a couple other people, you can go back to the screenshots I had earlier with me talking and, conversing with Fragment, about why when Wraith said, really, to Mirage, she meant more than just goofing off. Although there is some interactions where she jokes about him goofing off. I think that this is going to have some importance to it. I think that it's kind of ironic that he said, I'm asking for a friend because, well, it's kind of a double standard in a way. Because he's saying that obviously because he doesn't want to admit that he crashed the Mirage Voyage, but at the same time, he also kind of is asking for a friend because most likely Wraith is going to be involved getting him out of this financial issue again. Most likely Wraith will have to help him. So kind of funny. I don't think he's thinking it in that way, but that could potentially be the case. So we have this, which is undisputed. This is from season 9, and this hasn't been concluded. So this is something that could be continued in the Mirage comics that we will be getting in the future coming weeks, because there is actually weekly comics, and I'm not going to provide evidence for this because you guys can go look at Tom Castiel and Apex's Twitter for this proof. It's very easy to find. Basically, every week, we are going to be getting comics. I think we're getting comics for the next 9 weeks, including the comic from last week, meaning we're getting 10 comics. And starting off last week was Gibraltar. The next one will be about Gibraltar, but not all 10 of them will be about Gibraltar, because they want to include all the legends here. And since I have a feeling that the main story is gonna be, I'm not sure, because it's gonna be interesting. I have a feeling that Mirage and Wraith comics are going to be here, and I think that there's going to be some relevance in these comics. Now, I'm trying to prove why there's going to be Mirage and Wraith comics, or why there's going to be Mirage comics. I can tell you that there will probably be Mirage comics, because there is also, in fact, 2 loading screens that I find extremely, extremely important here. So let's go ahead and start diving into, the recent stuff from Season 9 involving comics. Keep in mind that we don't know what this has entailed. This whole, boat Mirage Voyage crashing. We don't know where it'll go, but we know that for sure that it is very likely that Wraith will be involved in this, and Mirage is going to have to find the solution, and that this could possibly affect his, medication that he pays for his mom, as well as we can't leave off the fact that his mom said that she was dying off the table either. Read through this, give it a quick glimpse, or, go to the Twitter and actually, read it on Twitter. Make sure you support Jel, who's the artist that fantastically did these comics. I did not do these, obviously, so, show Jel some love. She deserves the credit. And here we are. We're seeing the quest it's setting up for, the in-game comics. of season 9, but it's also setting up for the comics outside of the game, meaning like on Twitter. As we can see right here, this screen right here with Gash Hashreed and Angela Fazia, I think, are the names. Where she's talking about like being bribed and all that. I'm gonna let this play through, and then I want to dissect the last thing that she said, because it's very important. Or the last thing will be put at the last screenshot, so I can go and dissect it and talk about how this right here sets up a possible potential thing for not only Mirage but Octane or even Caustic and Crypto. Of course, I'm gonna do that very lightly because it's, this isn't the place for it. That'll be a different video of some sort. Once again, keep in mind, I do not pay attention to leaked stuff. So I know there is leaked comics, but do not involve those here, please. Okay? Thank you. Now on to this section. Here we see Gash saying, like this woman claiming her son's a legend, but won't tell me who. Now who could this be? Well, we know it can't. We know it can be. We know it could be Mirage's mom because maybe she's forgetting his son again. Maybe she's forgetting Elliot. She knows he's a legend, but maybe she's forgetting his name. Maybe she knows his son. It could technically be Mystique as well. Although I highly doubt this. It could be possible. I don't. I wouldn't put it off the table because Alexander's supposed to be dead. She wouldn't know that. And while Crypto, he's gone. She wouldn't know that Crypto is Taejun Park. Or the guy trying to bribe me and tell me his boy is not here. This is huge to me because this brings two minds to me. This brings two people. One, which is either Octane's dad, because, the whole being a terrorist thing, which adds to the Octane lore, which hasn't really been dived deep into, or it could be Mirage's dad, which I will provide evidence later. And the last one is, or the preteen who wants to make one legend suffer for what he's done, which brings two things to mind. The kid that Lifeline saved, or it would be Michael, Nicholas's son, which is angry at Gibraltar, because the next comic is even named The Boy Who Hated Gibraltar. So, makes sense. Now, Brian, why would it be Mirage's dad? Okay, well, you might be asking that, but here is two loading screens, which I find critical to this. I find this absolutely critical. Here, it says, the secret of my success, and this is, I think, the tier 93 loading screen. What's up, bro? Seeing that this is being spoken or written to someone else, someone that this person knows, which is important, meaning that they have some kind of relation. I've been feeling extra exit, so we can see this is a stutter. Been doing a lot of soul searching lately, and I think my luck is about to change. They're loving the T6000 juicer. Haven't sold any yet, but that'll come. And then I'll be a real man. Now this sounds like Mirage, the kind of man anyone would proud to be to call family. Very weird. Mirage, family, yeah, maybe. This is a little weird. Did I tell you and Linny and I are back in touch? So once again, this is referring that this person knows who he is, and this person knows Linny. Saying that this person that this is being told to, or written to, or called by, this is someone that this person knows. It says, we're having, she never could resist this charm. Once again, sounds like Mirage. We're having lunch up in the clouds today. Literally. She's on Olympus for the Tin Man's thing. Tin Man sounds like Mirage, because Mirage calls him Tin Man, and Tin Man is Pathfinder, and Pathfinder's having a party thanks to the Syndicate. Guess they made him a statue? Even the damn Marvins are getting their shine. What do I gotta do, huh? When is it my day? Really sounds like Mirage. Anyways, most of these places are closed, she said. Something about a burst pipe? Giant weeds, or who knows? That woman and her imagination. I always said that she could jumpstart a trident with only a paperclip and a pipe dream. She deserved better than a schmuck like me. But I'm working on it, meaning he's trying to improve. Once again, Mirage is currently trying to improve who he is, which we can kind of see in the Wraith voice lines here, the interactions, which I'll get to. And it sounds a lot like Mirage. So after lunch, it's back to work. Lots of meetings, sounds like Mirage. Maybe the big one, you never know. And then they finally understand. Every game I missed, every night I wasn't home. It was all worth it. Every night I wasn't home. Those are key. They, as in like a group of people. My son would finally appreciate my sacrifices and welcome me back with open arms. I'd be a hero, a legend, and the name Wit would mean some. Unfinished, handwritten letter found in the men's room of Passamate-bound commuter ship 2734. Now, if I'm correct, 2734 is the same Phase Runner error code numbers that the phase code got in the pre-launch trailer clip. That doesn't really matter. However, it does matter that this is not Mirage. This is Mirage's dad. This is his dad writing a letter to someone he knows about trying to make up for his sins, for his transgressions, for messing up and leaving his family, for not feeling a part of the family, for not being welcome to the family because of him being gone, for him being away, not knowing his children, right? This is, I believe, Richard Witt. This is Richard Witt, guys. And he's on one of the Passame-bound commuter ships, which I believe is either a ship that's in the parties. There's two ways to take this. So he was either on a ship to the party that Pathfinder was having, or he was on one of the ships with the weeds, which most likely it was a ship with the party, right? However, Mirage's dad, this is an unfinished handwritten letter. This means he never got to finish writing this. He was going to say Wit would mean something and continue, but he didn't. He stopped. Why would he stop? Is it possible that Richard Witt has been affected by these weeds? Is it possible? Do you think that maybe he's dead? It's possible. Richard Witt could have been working this entire time trying to make up to his family, atoning for his sins, and he may have just died. We don't know. We have no fucking clue. And here it says, every game I missed, every night I wasn't home, it was all worth it. My son would finally appreciate my sacrifice. It says they'd all understand. Meaning, does he know that his other sons are missing? Because he only addresses one son, but at the same time, it says, and then they'd all understand, meaning his family as a whole. So it'd be Evelyn and Elon and all the other brothers and Mirage. But yet, in the present line, in front of it, he only addresses his son would appreciate my sacrifices, meaning only one of them, and would welcome me back with open arms, meaning Mirage. So, most likely, if he doesn't want Mirage to know he's here yet, he was the person who paid for someone else, paid the game so that so Mirage wouldn't know he's there. Now, why? What is this? There's no way that they don't expand upon this, right? There's got to be something. The question is Richard dead or is Richard alive? That's the biggest thing. I have a feeling that he is alive, but there technically is a possibility that Richard is dead or sick or exposed to the vines because he did not finish his letter. And he's talking about the vines and stuff. It's very, very interesting. And we also understand that this is how Richard feels. He realizes, like, I feel like a piece of shit, basically. This is huge. This is absolutely huge because this is straight Mirage lore. And this also ties in the fact you got to take into consideration that his mom isn't doing so hot either. And this, I will get to that when I go back to the Wraith interactions. This is the second screenshot that I thought was very important. This is the other loading screen. World Court transcript. People of Pathame versus blank. April 16, 27, blank, blank. When is this date? PA, do you recognize the defendant? I think that's prosecutor. Witness, which is W. That's the one. Checked out in the Icarus fleet file. It's been years, but I remember. PA, this was back in October of 2733. So this took place before the current season. Right now it's 2734. So this is, I believe, season... It's somewhere... I'm not sure, but it's been a year in the game. So it's somewhere towards the start of the games or halfway through. Somewhere in that line. That this is the event that they're referring to. But it's talking in present time, I believe. Although we don't know because it's 27 blank blank. It could be 33, it could be 34. We don't know that. It says, and what is the Icarus fleet? Bunch of scavengers flew to what used to be Typhon to sift through wreckage and grab anything of value. Ships never returned. They were lost in space. This could possibly be Valkyrie because she did go back to Typhon and retrieve Viper's helmet. But we don't know. This could also be someone, which I'll get to as I finish this. So why would the defendant hunt them 2 decades later? 2 decades later. So this is taking 2 decades afterwards? See, this is where times gets confusing. 2 decades later, they might be referring to the events of Titanfall. 20 years ago, Titanfall took place, right? So we didn't ask him, didn't care, till a call came in for him. Don't know what the person on the other end said, but the defendant said and sent chills up my spines. I believe it was, they'll never link us to Icarus. They think we're the heroes, and we are. This just speeds up that process. I hand over the file, and that's it. 6 months later, guess what shows up in my docs? Shows up in docs. You think just because you're involved in the Apex games, you get a pass in murder, you piece of shit? DA, objection. Witness cannot address my client. My best friend died because of you. I hope you rot in hell for what you've done. Okay, this tells us a lot. First of all, this tells us one of the legends of over 20 years of age, which is all the legends, but going to be like in their 30s or 40s even, most likely, because it's been 20 years since this Icarus ship has been in place. This Icarus ship is 20 years old or longer. It was sent out to Passme 20 years ago, and now we see it here. A legend, one of the legends, is involved with these Icarus ships, and someone has been covering up the tracks of where this Icarus ship came from. Now, why is that? Who is that? We don't know. However, it's very important to notice that the witness said, "My best friend died because of you. I hope you rot in hell for this." Keep in mind, in the last thing I was discussing, is that there was a preteen who wanted revenge on a legend for what he's done. Okay, he meaning that it's one of the male legends. So it's either Nick's boy Michael, who wants revenge on Gibraltar, or it's this witness who is a preteen. If they are a preteen, wants revenge on one of the male legends for what the Icarus ships has done, has killed someone. Who is this someone? Maybe it's Richard Witt. Maybe Richard Witt was writing a letter to someone that says, "Hey, bro, how you doing?" Right? Maybe this is the person that Richard Witt knew. Maybe Richard Witt was the person that was killed. We don't know. It might not be the only possibility, but it technically could be. The important thing to note is it says, for what he's done. If this is the letter and it's referring to the person that wants to get payback on a legend, the legend that's involved with these Icarus ship, this Icarus fleet, these plants getting here, is a male legend. So it's not Bloodhound, it's not Wraith, it's not Watson, it could be Pathfinder, could be Revenant, could be Caustic. It's probably going to be someone on the older side, most likely. Or it could even be fucking Blisk for all we know. The important thing to note is that this is setting up more lore for, okay, who is the, like, it's like a Mole 2.0 again. Who is the legend that's involved in this Icarus fleet? How is that? Is it possible that Richard Witt was that best friend that died? Because he did have a letter that he didn't finish and addressed to somebody, but he never completed it. And since somebody was bribed to prevent Mirage from knowing, if this is the case, this is only a possibility, not guaranteed, but if Mirage was bribed, or if someone was bribed so Mirage wouldn't know Richard was there, he would have no clue that his dad died. Right? How is this going to unfold? Is this going to explain to him? What is going to happen? You know, it's just possibilities. There's so many directions that we don't know. This is definitely present and prevalent lore. So the question is when are we going to get these comics? For sure that they're going to expand on this stuff. Now, some of the things I've discussed may not be relevant to Mirage. It's only a possibility that some of the stuff that's being discussed in those loading screens could be tied in with Mirage. Richard Witt obviously being tied in with them, but the second loading screen, maybe not, right? We don't know. It's only a possibility. So, I'm thinking that during these 9 weeks of comics, eventually we're going to be getting comics for at least Mirage. I have a feeling Wraith is going to be involved too, because Wraith and Mirage have been together a lot recently, and it makes sense for them to expand their lore on each other. So, when are we getting it? I hope Season 9, but it's possible we could get it Season 10, or we might not get it at all. Who knows? That's possibly this is possibly a future loading screen, future comic that they're going to expand upon. So I want to discuss that before I go into the third and final section of this video, which are going to be the interactions with Mirage and Wraith, which kind of ties back into some of the stuff I've mentioned in this video, and some of it's their own thing. So I'm going to go ahead and spend 30 more minutes trying to get those fucking audio clips of them saying that by me actually doing it in-game. And then I'm going to go back to editing this video. Yes, I've been editing this for 3 hours, so I love you guys. I'll do anything for you. This is the last segment of the video, and this is going to be a little weird, because when it comes to voice lines, a lot of people need to understand that it's a lot harder to understand what a person means when they say something as opposed to writing, because writing you can be more descriptive than what you're given. It's easier to interpret. As opposed to vocals, they're all tone. They're all implication, right? It's nothing that you can't truly guarantee that you understand what they're saying. So take every voice line with a grain of salt and understand that there are multiple tones that Wraith and Mirage talk to each other in. And when this tone is changed, the meaning of what they are saying changes, right? So what I show is that tone and what that tone is implying, okay? or what it could mean. What the context of that is solely based off the tone. Okay, what they're saying and what it could mean, right? So I just want to clarify that before I go and show these interactions. And these are a little different than from the conclusive stuff that I was doing in the first part of the video and second part of the video. This part is just me trying to use the interactions because this is lore and this is a part of the video. I want to explain or try to understand what these characters and lines are and what they mean, what they could mean lore based, and how their feelings are towards each other. What does this mean? And well, do they have feelings for each other? What is their relational status, as whether I said friends or more, in this game? And these interactions will probably do just that. Okay, so now I'm going to play a segment of just the interactions. I really hope you guys can enjoy this stuff. And thank you for sticking with me for 45 minutes and 22 seconds so far.
Enemy down. Can't let you die. Your biggest fan would never forgive me.
Yep, a world without me would be tragic. Wait, is there a world without me? That's so sad.
Sorry I said anything.
96.
Down. Can't let you die. Your biggest fan would never forgive me.
I can't do anything about that.
Yep, a world without me would be tragic. Wait, is there a world without me? That's so sad.
Let's just stay focused. Enemy down.
Broke Valkyrie.
Come on.
Bro, this
Don't go
Valkyrie is so
disappearing on me
hyperfixated,
now.
it's not even funny. She did the same shit to Tundra. She was gonna kill him.
Yeah, you know, a world without me would be tragic. Wait, is there a world without me?
Sorry I said anything. Sorry I said.
They're just doing it because they're pussies.
I downed an enemy. Can't let you die. Your biggest fan would never forgive me.
Hey, you know, you can just say you'd miss me, you know? I mean, I won't tell.
Let's just stay focused.
To me.
I'm down.
Hey, I got you. Good old dependable Mirage, who's just the greatest friend, right?
You sure got something.
Awesome. Wait, hold on. Do I technically got this in every reality, or is that just here?
Yeah, you sure got something.
Do it again.
That's a good thing, right? You know, I'm gonna say it's a good thing.
Broke. Knocked.
I've been downed.
Down. It's all good. I got this. Wait, though, do I got this in every reality, or is this just...
That much. Knocked.
Thanks. This road would be a lot quieter without you.
That's a good thing, right? Yeah, I'm gonna say that's a good thing.
I've been downed.
Wait, though, do I technically got this in every reality, or is that just here?
Thanks. This road would be a lot quieter without you.
That's a good thing, right? You know, I'm gonna say it's a good thing. Hey, I got you. Good old dependable Mirage, who's just about the greatest friend, right?
You sure got something.
Awesome. Wait, hold on. Hey, I got you.
Oh my
Good
God,
old
he just
dependable
blew him
Mirage,
up.
who's just the greatest friend, right?
You sure got
Oh
something.
my god, he just revived. He's kidding me.
Awesome. Wait, hold on.
Light ammo here.
I'll take that. Thanks. Hey, wait, let me ask. So if I have dupes in every universe, I mean, how many light ammo here?
You're really one of a kind, Mirage.
Literally.
You're really one of a kind, Mirage. Thanks. See, you're helpful when you
Hey, you, my
try.
friend, are very welcome.
Thanks. See, you're helpful when you
Ah,
try.
thanks, Neat. Might be something good there.
You're safe.
Light ammo here.
You're safe.
Thanks. See, you're helpful when you try.
Of course. I do try. I try very hard. That. Thanks. Hey, wait, so if I have dupes in every universe, how many versions of me are there?
You're really one of a kind, Mirage. You're really one of a kind, Mirage. Mirage. Mirage.
Thanks. Hey, wait, let me ask. So if I have dupes in every universe, I mean, how many versions of me are there? That's amazing.
You're really one of a kind, Mirage.
Thanks. Hey, wait, so if I have dupes in every universe, how many versions of me are there? What a lucky universe.
You're really one of a kind, Mirage. Enemy down. Can't let you die. Your biggest fan would never forgive me.
Yeah, you know, a world without me would be tragic. Wait, is there a world without me?
Sorry I said anything.
That was fucking insane.
Thanks. This road would be a lot quieter without you.
Still here. Broke Gibby.
Awesome.
I've been downed.
It's all good. I got this. Wait, though, do I got this in every reality, or is this just...
Hit. Broke Gibby.
Thanks. This road would be a lot quieter without you.
There, I got it. I'm good now.
That's a good thing.
Now, keep in mind that I didn't manage to get every interaction possible, and I also didn't get every tone I wanted to. Some tones sound a little more neutral, and some sound a little more affectionate or humorous. The one thing between Wraith and Mirage that is very clear in this season is that their relationship has progressed since the start of the game, and now that we finally have the interactions that we've been asking for so long, we're starting to see that change, and we're starting to see that improvement upon the two, and how he can humor her, or how he can kind of bring out the little more emotional side of Wraith, much like how Pathfinder can, or even Watson at times. We can see that Mirage is able to bring that side of Wraith that most people or hardly anybody would ever see, and that we, as a player, wouldn't see at all if it wasn't for Mirage as that character. So we see that development, and I'll pick out a few more clips that I personally found that I liked, that I thought had a lot of meaning. And these ones I thought especially sounded a lot more affectionate, a lot more, I don't know, Wraith kind of showing emotion even if she doesn't necessarily want to. A lot of the things can be interpreted in multiple ways. Like, for example, some of the voice lines you could even say, or you could go as far as the extent that Wraith is saying that she would never forgive herself if she let him die. But she's not directly saying that because she doesn't want to show that emotion. I mean, you could go that far and say it. I mean, there is some basis to that, but I don't think that is the case. Maybe it is. It'd be cool if it was, kind of. But it's not. I think it's genuinely, I think Wraith is talking about Mirage's mom in the few. The other one's disappearing. Don't go disappearing on me. That's more about herself. You know, hey, don't go, don't leave me. And also, stop fooling around. It's just, there's a lot to take in with these interactions, and I feel like most of these are self-interpreted. They're best interpreted on your own. However, me, myself, I kind of want to give my input on it, and that this is how I feel about it. So here we are. Here are my favorite ones that I picked out, or the ones that I think that has the most meaning, or is the most implicative to what I'm trying to discuss here in this video.
Down. Can't let you die. Your biggest fan would never forgive me.
Yeah, a world without me would be tragic. Wait, is there a world without me?
Sorry I said anything. An enemy. Can't let you die. Your biggest fan would never forgive me.
Hey, you can just say you'd miss me, I mean, I won't tell.
Let's just stay focused. I've been downed.
Down. It's all good. I got this. Wait, though, do I got this in every reality, or is this just...
Thanks. This road would be a lot quieter without you.
Hey, wait, let me ask. So if I have dupes in every universe, I mean, how many light ammo here?
You're really one of a kind, Mirage. Thanks. See, you're helpful when you try.
And this is pretty much the end of the video. Those are my favorite clips and their favorite voice lines because they're probably the ones with the most value showing and understanding the relationships between Wraith and Mirage and their feelings towards each other, as well as the emotions that they display to each other. Now, of course, you can feel free to interpret these as your own. I see them as the way I do. I know other people see the way they do, and I'll let you interpret those however you feel. This is pretty much the end of the video, other than I can say that I've been spending a long time working on this. Of course, this is what you guys have wanted. It's a lot of you have wanted. You've asked for it. Some of you have, and I'm giving that to you. I know I've been getting a lot of people recently from the lore videos, and it seems like that's what you guys want. So this is what I'll bring you guys. Obviously, there's some ranked content here and there, just so I can get it off my PlayStation instead of keeping it on here forever. Just be a lot easier that way. I'm looking into ways to expand my editing content and try to make it a lot better. So let me know what I can do to make that better. Let me know, like, is one audio too loud, too quiet, or whatever. Anyways, that's all I have for you guys, is that this is the video explaining why I think that Mirage and Wraith, there's more to them. I think that there's more to their lore, and I think there's gonna be more lore. I think that's just the way it is. Now, that's just my opinion. You're more than allowed to have your opinion, even if you don't agree with me. I still understand. I respect everyone, and I respect their opportunities and opinions, as long as you can respect mine. That's just kind of the way I want to leave that. And if I missed anything, like I know I didn't really discuss the Bangalore Wraith stuff a whole lot. I barely mentioned it at all. And I know that the reason why I didn't really mention that is because I don't think it's going to have much significance to this season. Mostly because I think Loba and Bangalore are going to kind of be a thing and have their hands tied. Hence the one comic where I think Loba thought Bangalore asked her to date or something like that. I don't know. I didn't really read the last comic page that came out this week too much. I need to go back through and do an in-depth dive on that, because I'll probably end up doing a Bangalore Loba thing into at some point. Anyways, so maybe if Bangalore and Loba do become a thing, though, then that does mean that they will canonize ships, which is contrary to what I believe Tom Cassiel has said at one point. Which, it's whatever. They do what they want to do. If they want to do that, that's fine. I'm okay with that. So thank you guys for watching, and I'm gonna let the rest, Jesus, Brian, I'm gonna let the rest of this video play out, and probably work on some more editing and go to sleep. So, yep. Love you guys. It's 11 o'clock. I'm tired as fuck. Good night. Broke Cossack again.
Reloading.
Shot fired, and they're hitting me. Give him my shield to recharge.
They're gonna run low on shields eventually. I've broken them a couple times now already.
Grenade out.
Got a bad guy.
I'm hitting one with a thermite.
Give him my shield to recharge.
I think Caustic's trying to get purple. Yeah. Broke Valkyrie. Oh, she's getting ballsy.
Need to recharge my shields.
Give him my shield. Grenade! Shots fired, and they're hitting me. Yes, we're already inside this next ring.
Knocked her.
Enemy down. Need to recharge my shields.
He's reviving.
Arc star out. Frag out. Recharging my shields.
I'm out of Kraber bullets.
Yeah, I'm getting shot at. Open. Bam goes the boozle.
There's no way they have that many heals left.
Using the decoy escape.
And now they're stuck in that building.
Shots fired, and they're hitting me.
They have to take storm damage to leave that building.
I'm taking shots.
Recharging shield.
Need to
Oh,
recharge.
yes. I am so ecstasy. Whatever, I'm great. I wonder what my ex is up to nowadays. Send in a decoy. Wait, how do I know I'm not the decoy? Existential. That's just a little something to remember me by. Ring's close. 45 seconds.
Less than 30 seconds. Rings nearby.
Other folks have been here.
They're coming out. Broke.
10 seconds to throwing arc star.
I think this looks a little more...
Hit. Nice. I don't know why they kept peeking me. I just kept damaging them to Kraber. Like, if you're just gonna give me free hits, I'll take them.
You are the Apex Champions.
Nice.